Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So, after a very long time, we thought we should actually start a series on diabetes. And so, we have designed four sessions. We have divided each topic, and then we thought we should, understand what happens and then how does it happen and then what do we need to do and what is Ayurveda saying basically, to address diabetes. So let us begin with this. Let us see, what Ayurveda is giving us insights in our Bilvam Herbals Wellness workshop. So now, what we are going to do is we are going to discuss on what, according to Ayurveda, is diabetes. Because diabetes is basically a Western, definition or a term that is used in Western medicine. And then what are the doshas actually, that impact diabetes? And then what kind of dinacharya, and what is the role it plays? And then some home remedies today we will discuss, but not in detail. And what kind of an holistic approach one should be actually having towards health. So these are the overall topics we'll be looking at. And then now let us see what is Ayurvedic approach to general health and wellness. So anytime whenever we talk about Ayurveda, it emphasizes on holistic approach. And what is holistic approach? It is not just the physiological body or symptoms we carry. Ayurveda strongly believes that there is a mind and there is also the emotion, the spirit that is connected and that influences the body or physiological performance of our body. And then it also looks at the preventive care. It definitely emphasizes on prevention. Of course there is curative care and there is a lot of research done there, but even before we get to any condition, what should be our dinacharya, what should be our lifestyle? That is what also actually, Ayurveda looks into. So now what is diabetes as per Ayurveda? So basically what we are saying is diabetes in Ayurveda, it is called Madhumeha. Madhu is sweet, that is sweet in taste. And that is characterized by the presence of, sugar in urine, blood, and there is a derailment or derangement in our fat metabolism. That is when the sugar accumulates in our blood and urine, and which leads to Madhumeha, diabetes. In Western medicine, if you see, it is divided into type 1, type 2, and all of that. But wherein in Ayurveda there are 20 types of diabetic conditions that are listed, and each one has a different approach of treatment, and that is determined by the dosha imbalance. And now, so let us look at what are doshas, how do they impact us in a health and well-being. So basically, predominantly every seminar we discuss that there are three doshas that govern our physiological functions: vata, pitta, and kapha. So now any of the three doshas, if they are not aggravated or if they are pacified, that is when our metabolic processes gets affected, and that leads to diabetes, is what Ayurveda is saying. Now for everyone it is very important that what we should understand, what is our body type, what is the dosha that is predominant in our body, in our system. And then accordingly, when any Ayurvedic practitioner looks at it, it is always a tailor made treatment. In Ayurveda there is no one size fits all. We all know this, and I am sure we share this belief also. And now, what is the concept of doshas in diabetes? So now any kind of diabetes, the 20 listed, Whether it can be either a kapha dosha aggravation or a pitta dosha aggravation, or both are actually vitiated, completely disturbed. That is when we fall into the trap of madhumeha, diabetes. So now, of course, because we are also looking at the metabolism, the derangement of metabolism, gut health also is very, very important for diabetes management, and that is a relationship we always talk about. Therefore, diet also plays a very, very dominant role in the recovery. So now, what happens if there is excessive kapha, there is aggravated pitta? What happens? Pitta. So there is disruption in the jataragni agni, basically the fire in our digestive system, and any disruption leads to, of course, digestive related conditions, and that creates ama, that is toxins in our blood and other dhatus, and then that also leads to blocking the channels. It inhibits insulin. Basically, pancreas is the organ that releases insulin in our body, so that any sugars that come into our system, they're broken down further by insulin. And then when our pancreas actually gets disturbed, because the agni is disrupted, pancreas is part of our digestive care system, and because of the pancreas disruption, the production of insulin is not enough in comparison to the sugars we are consuming or the carbs we are consuming. So that is when even there is some resistance from pancreas to produce enough insulin. That is when we say that there is an insulin inhibition in our system, because of which, of course, the blood sugar levels always increase. Yeah. So now let us study how doshas, the kapha and pitta we have discussed, because of the dysfunctioning or disbalance, imbalance of this, how do they affect our digestion, metabolism, and insulin production. Now coming to, let us study, understand the kapha imbalance. When any time, like when kapha imbalance happens, immediately the digestion becomes very weak. That is why in monsoon season, where it is raining, there is not much sun, it is very cloudy, even when there is no kapha imbalance, we the hunger actually comes down. Therefore, the food we are supposed to eat in monsoon also, in general, as per Ayurveda, they suggest that we have to eat easily digestible food, right? And imagine when there is imbalance in kapha, so the digestion comes further down, that is across ritus, and then therefore, there is excess weight gain, and then there is resistance of insulin. So this is what actually kapha does whenever there is an imbalance. Now consider, let's look at the pitta imbalance. It directly impacts the pancreas, which is the source of pancreas, insulin secretion. So then when it is affected, the amount of insulin that pancreas should be producing, that actually gets affected. Or even there is sometimes lot of insulin that is secreted. Whenever we need, there is less, because of which sugars, they are waving, like it goes up, it comes down, so there is disturbance in the sugar levels also. So understanding these will definitely help us choose the correct diet and the lifestyle, by which we can bring the kapha and pitta, doshas to a balance. That is what Ayurveda always emphasizes on. Now, let us look at the role of diet as per Ayurveda. So now, why we constantly say that uh, our diet is very important. Even Western medical practitioners, they also emphasize on diet, and Ayurveda also emphasizes on diet. But Ayurveda's emphasis on diet is definitely based or focused more on the dosha imbalance. So for every individual, because as I said, there are 20 types of madhumeha conditions that are described in the classical text. So it is a personalized diet and lifestyle. It is never that one solution for everyone. And then dietary plans are actually designed by these Ayurvedic practitioners based on the one's constitution, also the body type. And then what is the attempt? What are we aiming at when we are actually suggesting any diet? Fundamentally, the Jataragni, and then to also bring in a balance between the two doshas that are aggravated or pacified. Yeah. Now, let us look at the, some kind of broad advice we are giving on diet in this session, but we'll go more deeper in the upcoming sessions. So, here for digestion for diabetes, we always, which is independent of Ritu. But when I'm saying which is independent of Ritu, there is influence on the dosha imbalance. Like maybe in monsoon, our kapha dosha might be more in aggression in summers, wherein in summers it be pitta aggravation because the environment is like that. But imagine I'm having diabetes and because of my pitta condition, so in monsoon it can change to kapha imbalance, because of which in monsoon my digestion is very weak, I'm putting on more weight. So accordingly, we have to also suggest the diet. So it is usually aimed at any diet on our gut health, to improve our digestion. So warm cooked foods and definitely not raw salads, because the tendency is I'm having diabetes, I'm not supposed to take any grains. So and then cooked food may also increase the carb and sugar and the fats and etc. So I we will slowly move towards raw salads, but that is going against the system, against the already weakened digestive fire. And then here we are also saying that some lean proteins which are easily digestible, and then vegetables, of course, and no to sweets, processed dairy, and heavy oily foods. Here we are not saying fat you should not take, but we have to just be careful that the fats we are taking are healthy, right? Now we are again talking about the regular exercise. Of course, Western medicine also emphasizes and on exercise, and even Ayurveda stresses on exercise. So, when we are talking about exercise for physiological, basically burning of calories, and then here we are also talking about the stress management, because it is very, very important to know that whenever there is a stress, our sugar levels increase, because our body is made in such a way that even the stress hormones actually impact our digestion, and when digestion is impacted, again the same the vicious cycle of indigestion and not breaking down, the improper breaking down of the sugars. Now when we are talking about physical activities and all, of course it is yoga, pranayama, walking, all these exercises which actually help in improving the Jataragni, improving the insulin sensitivity, and then managing some weight loss or weight gain supports. Right? Because in diabetes, both conditions can happen depending on which dosha is imbalanced. Right? And then it is equally important that we do some breathing exercises like pranayama, because they are very, very relaxing. And then by balancing the stress balance hormones, the cortisol levels can also be balanced, it can be reduced basically. Now let us talk about herbal remedies and therapies that exist as per Ayurveda. So we know we have some, it is like now many of us we know that there are, like Karela is very, very good. We say that you drink Karela juice on empty stomach first thing in the morning. And fenugreek, methi seeds. Yeah, and then amla, cinnamon, guduchi, neem, madhunashini. So these are some of the herbs and spices which will, help us in managing our condition. But it is very important that it is always, the what herb to be taken, in what form it has to be taken. Because in Ayurveda, you if you see, there are lehyas, there are arishtas, there are gritas, there are churnas. So there are various types of one single herb, that the way it is prepared. So, and each one, though maybe it is safe example, let us talk about I'll take ashwagandha as an example. So whenever, if you see, there is ashwagandha arishta, ashwagandha lehyam, ashwagandha ghritam, ashwagandha churna. But when you go to an Ayurvedic practitioner, depending on your body type, and then depending on what dosha has actually aggravated or imbalance, accordingly they give, the either arishta or ghrita or churna or lehya. So it is very important that we consult an Ayurvedic practitioner and then get their recommendation and prescription, and not take by just because I have said neem is good, I have said amla is good, or I have said madhunashini. They are definitely good, but in what form and medium we should be taking is very important, and how much to be taken also is very important, right? And these are all completely safe. They don't contradict with your Western medication. You are already on, medicines, or external, sources of insulin. Don't There is no need to worry, because it is given to us by our mother nature, and they're very, very like safe and zero harm they do. And then they, all of them, whenever we say they are, these herbs are for diabetic conditions, because of their hypoglycemic properties, and then they improve the insulin sensitivity, and they help in improving our metabolism, our digestion, and all the complication related to diabetes. Like, diabetes, you all know, it affects some, for some it affects heart, for some it affects skin, some, for some their eyes get affected, yeah, their nerves get affected, their bones get affected. So diabetes comes with lot of other side effects, and our Ayurvedic formulations can definitely help in also securing and protecting the other organs, that and they don't get affected, and they stay, the people, they stay healthy. And of course it balances these herbs and spices, and the dinacharya will of course finally, they balance the doshic aggravations. Now let us see some examples of home remedies. Here we are saying, as I said, Karela you can have as a juice, or you can, make a sabzi out of it, and, have it. And then methi, like fenugreek seeds, you soak it in the night, 1 teaspoon, and have it first thing in the morning. And then cinnamon, in your cooking, you have it, and you have it as a tea, cinnamon. So all these things will help, small things, but they will help you a lot in protecting your organs and also managing your diabetic conditions. And then now, let us see the how does Ayurveda look at it, and how does modern or Western medicine looks at diabetes. Here we tried actually mapping part of it. I will not say this is complete, but this is the basic, I would say. So Ayurveda, when it approaches diabetic condition, it is a holistic approach. It completely looks at our physiology, our mind, stress, emotions, and then, the spiritual connect we have, right? Everything it considers. It also considers the seasons. Yeah, it of course considers, I said, doshas, which is physiological part. Wherein in Western medicine, this is purely my observation. I can be wrong, I can be corrected. But my experiential learning says that Western medicine tries to manage symptoms by supplying external insulin. Yeah, it's very symptomatic treatment they handle. And then in Ayurveda, we don't give insulin directly, but actually we try and correct the imbalanced, imperfect doshas. Yeah. And the focus on the overall health. It's not just pancreas, insulin, and then diabetes and sugars in our blood and urine. It is overall health. There is no knee pain, there is no heel pain, my night urination is not there. There's so many complications around diabetes, which we are going to discuss in our future seminars. But Ayurveda approaches holistically, therefore. And then Western medicine, according to me, purely again, there is no cure. It is basically, we are trying to supply insulin externally, because of which we are making the already weakened pancreas even more weak, and ultimately it will forget how to even secrete insulin, because we are providing the body with external insulin. So that is what Western medicine does. And then Ayurveda, what does it stress upon? Not just the medicines. It looks at the dinacharya, diet, lifestyle. When I'm getting up, when I'm sleeping, do I have enough sleep, do I get? And then what time I eat, and are my meals regulated? Am I eating, at the same time every day? So it looks at, completely. It's a proper analysis of the individual and the lifestyle, right? And then they also say that before you get into any medicines, they first ensure that they clean our system. There are various ways of detoxifications, virechana, like through, motions, they do it for diabetes. And then abhyang snan, every day one has to do oil bath, because of which our skin removes the toxins that we have accumulated. Of course, yoga and meditation for stress management. Wherein Western medicine, as you would have already seen, it's medicines, diet, and exercise. So there is a whole lot of difference between how Ayurveda looks at it and how allopathy, looks at it. And then they're all customized. It is not that because, okay, one individual has this diabetic condition, so for everyone it is the same kind of dinacharya, same diet, same lifestyle. No, it doesn't work like that. Say, for example, I'll tell you Abhyang Snan, where I have mentioned it here, but anyone coming with Kapha dosha imbalance, they cannot have Abhyang Snan. So there are various things, small details one actually goes into any Ayurvedic practitioner before suggesting, the entire package. Yeah, so that is what is customized holistic health solutions. So now, friends, with this, I'm ending this session. Of course, we are opening, for question answers. But just before that, I want all of you to participate in our future sessions. And then the upcoming session, which is on 3rd of August, we are going to discuss, how do one balance doshas through diet, and then whole foods and fresh ingredients. What is the emphasis and how do we do it? And then what are the specific foods and spices for diabetes management? And then, of course, personalized dietary guidelines. Again, there'll only be guidelines, but because it is personalized, if you need any consultation, I'm here to always talk to you. Yeah. So, yes, this is what, the session is about. Now it is open for question and answers. And I can take the questions in Hindi, English, and even in Telugu, and I will translate also. I would like to hear actually your feedback. Gautam, can you please give us feedback? Because what is happening is, we are organizing this and then people do come, they participate, but I don't get any feedback. So I don't know whether I'm making sense. I don't making, how to improve.
Sudha, I think the presentation was very good,
Yeah.
but I my knowledge of Ayurveda is not very good. So I in fact was going to send you a message on WhatsApp after this that I would want to learn more about all of this. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but surely this is very helpful.
So
But
generally, when you're hearing, it is making sense, right? Like it's not really
yeah,
off. Yeah.
no, it makes a lot of sense to me. Meaning, it is very much in sync with what I already know. right?
Okay,
But
good.
I would want to get into more details of this,
Yes,
right? For
yes,
example, how do we balance the two doshas, and uh,
yes.
yeah, that is something that I don't know, and I would want to build up my knowledge on that.
Sure, sure. Helpful. Ramana Garu, do you have any suggestions? Anyone, even Srinath ji, whatever, when whoever, yeah.
Yeah, madam, actually, I'm here with father of Srinath. I log in with my son's account actually. So I've been using your medicine. So actually, we are using this ghee, but the ghee, what do you call ghee, go mata ghee, and we
Huh?
are I'm taking with turmeric powder. My wife gives in the morning with the milk
Okay,
and all those things. Now it
okay,
is okay, but I didn't use this another medicine for diabetes because
okay.
one day I took it and there was motion sensation and I also went to toilet for 2 to 3 times. So then I stopped. That was in the peak summer. So I have to use that medicine again. But anyhow, from the
No,
overall
which one was that? Sorry, which one was that you took and you went for, you had loose motions?
that is for diabetic, madam. Actually,
So
that
it is
is
morning one you took with warm water. That is the one?
yeah, that is for this is that is
Amla
amla
turmeric
amla
blend.
amla. That is okay, madam. There is no
Yes.
issues, and also with milk and this
Yes.
ghee also, and she also added one turmeric powder also. I think
Yeah,
I don't know
turmeric blend
exactly
with
what she has.
aromatic spices you would have taken with
Uh,
milk and ghee, right?
right, madam. That is
So
also
that
very
has
good and
got
also
that.
improved a lot.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Improved a lot, and I have, with a good stamina. Earlier it was some weakness. Now that has control.
Oh,
Now
very
the reason
nice.
for so now I have to use that medicine because maybe some other issues might have affected for my lose motion. But now I will start again that medicine.
Please
So
do
it's so
that.
good
And
actually.
yeah,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you. So please do
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
And I will really appreciate if anyone taking our supplements to connect and stay connected with me once in 2 weeks if I get an update on how it is, how you're improving. Because what Bilvam Herbals want is your sugar level should come to normal and then we wean you out from the supplements. Because taking supplements also every day throughout the life is something not suggested as per Ayurveda. You know, any medicine which is good, you have to recover completely. Otherwise, the medicine and the treatment is failed. So I want to
Yes,
walk your journey with you and then ensure that you stay healthy ultimately without any, sugar changes or no diabetic condition basically. Yeah.
okay. Yes, ma'am. Actually, we are keep on ordering the ghee and all those things now and then, whenever we require. Actually,
Sure, sure, sure.
okay.
Please call me. I
Thank you.
hope you all have my number. Please call me.
Yes, ma'am.
If I'm busy, I'll message you and then we can always, connect again. There's no problem.
मैडम मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था।
पूछिए.
लास्ट 20 to 30 years के अंदर फार्मा
हम्म,
कंपनीज है वो उन्होंने उनका सेल्स बढ़ाने के लिए
हम्म,
डायबिटीज का जो पैरामीटर्स होते हैं उसके अंदर बहुत मैनिपुलेशन लेकर आए हैं कि
राइट.
जिसके अंदर पहले जो डायबिटीज कंडीशन है वो पहले नॉर्मल कहा जाता था उसको अभी उन्होंने डायबिटीज के अंदर कन्वर्ट कर दिया है। तो
हम्म,
वो जो पैरामीटर्स के साथ उन्होंने जो मैनिपुलेशन किया है तो आपके
हम्म.
हिसाब से कौन से पैरामीटर्स है जिसके अंदर होना एलोपैथी वर्ल्ड के अंदर वो डायबिटिक माना जाता है लेकिन नॉर्मल एक्चुअल में वो नॉर्मल है। तो वो पैरामीटर्स क्या होते हैं वो थोड़ा जानना था मैडम।
Actually, very good question, Dev. And it's nice that you have asked. Uh, अगर देखा जाएगा तो डायबिटीज में 3 तरह का टेस्ट, बहुत सारे टेस्ट हैं एक्चुअली टू ट्रैक आवर शुगर लेवल्स. We all know there is one fasting, there is one 2 hours after food we test, and there is simple HB1AC. ये 3 बेसिक चीजें हैं जो हम फॉलो करते हैं. And then, so now coming to the Western way of reading things, it is obviously we all know it's an open secret that it is, pharmacy driven indicators, and then the treatment and diagnostic measures also. So yes, earlier जो हमारा basis था कि ये standardization किए हैं, they have decreased the level, saying that if you come under 120 and 180 and all of that, it is, diabetic condition. Now again, they have gone back, they have done research. I think many have started protesting. तो उनका पैरामीटर्स जो उन्होंने कम किया है, अभी दोबारा वो बढ़ाया भी है. ठीक है. तो आयुर्वेदा कैसे देखती है? Let us understand that, because we are now more interested in आयुर्वेदा. कि शुगर कितना है वो इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है, हमारा तबीयत खुद के लिए कैसा है. Are we healthy? Do we have any kind of tiredness? Is our hunger there? Are we, able to walk? Basic jogging जो होता है, are we able to climb stairs? Constipation नहीं है, और बाकी organs, मेरा eyesight ठीक है. So, we should be sensitive to our own body, and one is estimate whether we are healthy or not. It doesn't mean that, we should not test ourselves. Once a year जो test होता है, हम लोग करते हैं, normal जो diabetic condition नहीं है, वो जो करते हैं. So then I would suggest that you go for those tests and see, and then anything above 120, 130 and all, you just be careful, start back to your routine, focus on your health, because hamara, when we are so busy with our careers, professions, and then family and all of that, we don't give importance to oneself. Earlier ऐसे कहते थे कि men have the liberty and the comfort of taking care of their health, wherein women, they compromise a lot. Women compromising is still there. I'm not saying they don't, but even men also compromise for a different reason. That is more for their careers, and also everyone, I think we should all focus on one thing. Hamara skin kaisi hai? Because diabetes also indicates if a skin is doesn't has lost the glow, then we have to check our gut. Yeah, and gut is related to diabetes, so it is all interlinked. So we have to check our sugar levels. Anything 120, 130 ke baad, we have to come back to, come back on track. And then as a general advice, it is always better to follow a particular dinacharya, getting our doshas right. For example, we have to read our doshas, we have to understand our body constitution, and then we have to understand the seasonal changes that are happening and that are impacting my health. So it is very, so we are always watching ourselves, our body. We are also aging. With age also, there are certain things happen, our metabolism generally drops down. So there are so many aspects we have to be careful about. So we have to be just keep our all the five senses, to be with us, to study inside also, not just outside us. To also we have to use them to study our inner, body and systems and mechanism. So this is what I would say, and Ayurveda, I'm sure that's what it says.
थैंक यू सो मच मैम. एक्चुअली मैडम, हमें हॉस्पिटल या क्लिनिक या कहीं रिपोर्ट्स कुछ ना करवा के ऐसे विजुअली हम खुद ही घर पे कैसे कुछ सिम्टम्स देख के ये पता लगा सकते हैं कि डायबिटीज है कि नहीं है. अगर इस टॉपिक के ऊपर हम थोड़ा डेडिकेशन के साथ एक पूरा वेबिनार अगर कुछ करते हैं तो
Sure.
ज़्यादा अच्छा होगा कि आयुर्वेदा के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से कैसे ऐसे विजुअल सिम्टम्स रहते हैं या एनर्जी के लेवल के ऊपर या जो जिसके अंदर विदाउट
Yes.
रिपोर्ट भी हम प्रॉपर कर सकते हैं, जो हमारा एंशियंट टाइम के होता एंशियंट टाइम के अंदर ये ऐसे इस तरह से देखते थे. तो
Sure.
अगर इस तरह से कुछ हम करते हैं वेबिनार तो वो हमारे लिए बहुत हेल्पफुल रहेगा मैडम.
डेफिनेटली वो तो हम करेंगे, बिकॉज इट्स अ वेरी गुड पॉइंट. नेक्स्ट जो वेबिनार होने वाला है वो हम कुछ फैक्टर्स डेफिनेटली वहाँ इंक्लूड कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज वो अगर समझ में नहीं आया तो व्हाट डू वी डू, लाइक शुगर टेस्ट करने के बाद भी हमें वो पता नहीं चलेगा इतना. डेफिनेटली वी विल डू दैट. थैंक यू देव.
थैंक यू सो मच मैम. वेलकम.
Ramana garu, you have any suggestions for us? How is the session?
సెషన్ చాలా బాగుంది మేడం గారు, చాలా వాల్యుబుల్ పాయింట్స్ చెప్పారు. అంటే అసలు షుగర్ రాకుండా ఉండడానికి మనం బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్, లంచ్, డిన్నర్‌లో మనం ఫైబరు, కార్బోహైడ్రేట్స్ ఎట్లా తీసుకోవాలంటే మనకి రాకుండా ఉంటుంది? ఏమన్నా చెప్తారా?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. So the question is basically the prevention part of it. Sugar nahi aana hai. If we don't want, I don't want to get into a diabetic condition. What do I need to eat during breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Because of which I never get into that even that stage. It's a very good question, Ramana Garu. Basically, we have to, I would say I will not look at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I would say this, that there are five things we have to avoid in our kitchens. One is fundamentally the white rice, polished rice, and refined flours. Those we have to remove. And then the white sugars we have to remove. And then we should also remove oils, refined oils. We have to go for wooden pressed organic oils, and then refined salt we should move away from. So these are fundamentally what we should be having in our kitchen. Yeah. And coming to what also additional what we should be avoiding, processed food. I think we should not have like biscuits, ice creams, chocolates, and then drinks, aerated drinks. There's a lot of namkin also that comes, like we okay sweet नहीं है, हम मीठा नहीं खा रहे, मगर बाहर से हम कुछ भी नमकीन लेकर मिक्सचर रख दिया, ये रख दिया, वो हम खाते जाएंगे. But what happens is the oils they use to make those are very bad on our digestive system. So it is always advisable to eat home cooked meal, whatever it is. But we don't have time. What to do? We have to buy something. We can't just be having only boring food. That is also there. So in our future sessions I'll go into so many details, but definitely processed food you have to remove. And breakfast, because it is, we are breaking the fast, like almost 10 to 12 hours we are not having anything from night to morning. So the meal should be wholesome for breakfast. Wholesome meaning it has to have carbs, protein, and then definitely vegetables and some healthy fats. So, but it is not a whole meal. It is only a breaking the fast. So we should not have deep fried items, for example, during in breakfast time. We should just not have. If you want to eat only fruits, it is very good to eat on empty stomach. But otherwise, cooked, steamed, boiled breakfast you should be having. Lunch is when you can have your heart full and then stomach full also, because that is where sun is also above us, pitta is there in the environment. So it is always ideal to have desserts, heavy meals basically. Again wholesome, I'm not saying heavy when it is high protein, it is wholesome. But you can add your namkeen over there, your dessert there, all this you can have. But dessert I would suggest not to have for diabetics, but others you can have, like all the other things you should be having a heavy meal, lunch. And then dinner ideal is to end by 7 in the night. Yeah. And then have very light meal, which is either steamed or boiled or cooked. No fried, no deep fried. So this should be your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, patterns. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Yes, Siddhi. Madhavi Garu, you have anything? ఏమైనా చెప్తారమ్మా?
ఏం లేవు మ్యామ్, అన్ని తెలిసిపోయినాయి మీ ద్వారా. ఇంకా చెప్పే ఏం లేవు మ్యామ్, విన్నాను అన్ని. అన్ని నేర్చుకుంటున్నాను.
నేర్చుకోండి అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ సెషన్ లో కూడా పార్టిసిపేట్ చేయండి.
ఓకే మ్యామ్.
Nidhi ji, you have anything, any feedback for us?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, this is Nidhi. So, yeah, really like the webinar. but somehow because of this internet connection here, I'm somewhere outside, so I couldn't
Okay.
attend in the beginning part. But
Okay.
the later portion, I really like this concept of breaking the fast and breakfast. The way you explain it, it was quite nice. But I
Yeah.
would like to attend your webinar, next webinar on Ayurveda. And
Most welcome.
I want to know about this methi seeds and cinnamon. Is it really helpful in controlling sugar?
Yes. Yes. Methi really helps. Yeah.
And the quantity I want to know, ki how much is that, like minimum dose? Because sometimes, patient, I am a dietitian, so sometimes patients
Mm.
ask me then,
Mm.
like, to I generally suggest for say 15 grams of methi
Mm.
twice a day. Is
Mm-hmm.
it too much, or because I have not read through this Google and all I have found. So is
Okay.
it correct?
Not two times, one time is enough. And
One
not
time is enough.
15 grams, 10 grams, just one
Then
teaspoon. Yeah, just around 5
one.
grams.
Five, but that was not helping patients who have, high sugar, say around fasting sugar is around 150, 170. Though it was not helping, and the patient
Yeah, looks like. Venkatramana garu, you have anything, any suggestion for us?
they tried
Madam, it is very
cinnamon
good
also.
question,
I
ma'am.
guess.
Nidhi ji, actually we lost you in between. Even now I think we are losing you. Cheppandi Sami, cheppandi.
Madam, it is very good session, madam.
So
I
can
am
you
I am happy join with you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, my request to everyone is if you can share it in your friend circle, family circles, encourage them to join. The session will be even more interesting because what happens is so many questions, engaging it would be, and everyone can learn from each other. అందరూ మీరు మీ circles లో షేర్ చేయండి నెక్స్ట్ టైం అట్లీస్ట్ అందరూ వస్తే ఇట్ విల్ బి రియల్లీ helpful.
Sure, madam. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaskar. Yes, Nidhi ji, are you able to now come back? Your
Yeah,
signal is
she
good.
asked that earlier.
Yeah. So, Nidhi ji, for anyone with, that kind of fasting is 120, 130. So, they should also take some herbal supplements for diabetes, not just, the home remedies would help. It will definitely help, but not drastically. It will control the sugar levels. For some time, I think they have to be on medication and very quickly they'll come to normal. After which they can be on methi.
Sorry, I couldn't hear because my internet connection was lost. So could you
Okay.
please explain again,
Yeah. So
if you
I'm
don't
saying,
mind?
no, no, no issues. So what I'm saying is 1 teaspoon overnight soaked methi with the water is good enough.
Hmm.
But anyone
Okay.
coming to you with, fasting sugar or above 120, right? They need
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
supplements also, herbal supplements to
Okay.
control the sugar levels, but they'll quickly recover
Mm-hmm.
because 120, 130 is not so high. It won't take that long. It will take about
Hmm.
6 months
Yes.
to bring them to normal, and then they can continue with this simple home remedies. That's all.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
Ayurvedic medicines, if you can suggest which one?
Sure. What I can do is you can go on to our website,
Uh-huh.
bilvamherbals.com, check it out,
Okay.
and then you can reach out to me on my number and we can discuss.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll do
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yes. Thank you, Nidhi.
you. Thank you.
So, any more questions or can we close the session? Okay, then, as I requested, please share in your circles, friends, family, encourage them to join so that it is a, encouragement for us also. This session is very, very, helpful for me also. Uh, Thanks to all the, engagement we have got. So we'll see you next Saturday at 4. Namaskaram.